Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X. A very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the Movies TV Mad Daily. It's an exciting day. It's Doctor Who Day. By now, by the time you're seeing this video, I would have seen the brand new episode of Doctor Who 73 Yards. I'm recording this video on a Friday, so on Sunday's edition, I think, if I'm getting my days right, I'm getting mixed up because I do these videos a day before I put them out because I've got rubbish internet and it takes 9 hours to upload a half an hour video, blah blah blah. So on Sunday's Movies TV Mad Daily, we will be reviewing and reacting to the brand new Doctor Who episode 73 Yards. Now, even though I've been absolutely underwhelmed by RTD2, and I've been hugely disappointed by the episodes. I did enjoy Boom, by the way. I still don't think it's one of Moffat's top ones, but certainly better than the rest of RTD2. I've been underwhelmed, but even though every week I've been excited to watch a brand new episode of Doctor Who, because I'm a Doctor Who fan. I love Doctor Who. I don't want to be gaslit by Russell T Davies and Ncuti Gatwa. I don't want to be blamed for being a white man. I just want to enjoy my entertainment. I don't care that the Doctor is being played by a black gay man from Scotland. And is he originally from Uganda, right? Is it Uganda? Sorry. My ignorance showing there. But anyway, none of that bothers me. I don't care if you've got a drag queen as a villain. Just make great Doctor Who. That's my only concern. It is you who are gaslighting your audience. No one's told you that they're not watching because you're a black man. Russell T Davies, no one's told you they're not watching because you had a trans actor playing a young trans child, in your first, return to Doctor Who. Oh, I wasn't bothered like that. In fact, Donna's trans daughter, I thought she was sweet. I thought she was becoming a great character. The development was interesting. I liked it until she had a go at the Doctor for being a male presenting Time Lord. That's what was disappointing to me, not the fact that she was trans. I was, at first I was thinking, I'm going to be talking about her in my videos and saying how great this young actor is. But instead, I was disappointed what you had her saying in the show when she calls out the male presenting Time Lord. Ridiculous. But this is the era of entertainment we're in. So every week, despite me being hugely disappointed and underwhelmed by RTD2, I come in and I wake up early on a Saturday morning to watch Doctor Who, to stream it on the iPlayer, and hoping I'm going to see great Doctor Who again. Now, I think I saw pretty good Doctor Who in Boom. It was flawed. Everything made by human hands is flawed. There's a lot of recycling of old Moffat and RTD themes, and kind of the things the characters were saying sounded very, very familiar. And that's a shame, but I think it was a much better episode than we've already had previously from RTD2. So welcome to my 73 Yards preview. So what can we expect from this episode? It looks like a Doctor-like episode. It looks like an episode where we won't see a lot of Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. Now, normally I'd be a little bit, oh God, I'm not looking forward to this. Because I don't really sit there going, oh, Doctor-like episodes will be good. It's Doctor Who. I want to see the TARDIS, I want to see the Doctor, I want them arriving somewhere, and I want the Doctor and the companion to share their adventure together. But I think, because of my love, admiration for Millie Gibson, as a person and as an artist, I'm really looking forward to this episode and seeing Millie Gibson perform. Because watching her all those years in Coronation Street, I was humbled and impressed by the way she portrays her art form. She's such a good young actor, and the character in Coronation Street I found very relatable, because I think Millie is very relatable as a person. While Ncuti Gatwa and Russell T Davies have been gaslighting and attacking their audience, Millie Gibson has been the only voice of reason, and that's a good thing. And so she's a wonderful kid. She's a wonderful actor. I absolutely admire and adore Millie, and I was so happy she was cast as the companion. And what's been disappointing, we haven't seen her shine as an artist or her character shine in, what we've seen of RTD2 thus far. She hasn't been given that opportunity. As I've said in previous videos, I don't know who Ruby Sunday is. I don't know her likes, her dislikes. I don't really know her as a person. At this stage, I knew exactly who Rose Tyler was. I knew who Martha Jones was. I knew who Donna Noble was. I knew who Clara Oswald was, Bill, Amy Pond, etc., etc., etc. I knew those companions. Rory Williams, I knew what made them tick by this stage. And it's really strange to me that she's been so underdeveloped, like a lot of recent companions. Well, really, the Chibnall companions. Because what I liked about what Chris Chibnall did from the offset was give us 3 companions who weren't glamorous, who weren't necessarily beautiful model types, but actually were going to be lived and breathed in characters that gave us automatic relatability. But he underdeveloped them, just like he did his Doctor, which made his series very underwhelming. And it's the same problem here with Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday. Ruby Sunday is a very interesting name. It pops. You've got Millie playing this character. She should be a very interesting character. They've done nothing with her apart from the mystery box, the girl who's the key to everything. And I don't mind the girl who's the key to everything. I think it really worked with Clara Oswald. Some don't, but I thought Jenna did a great job with that character, starting off as a mystery box, but becoming a great companion, not only for Matt Smith's Doctor, but especially for Peter Capaldi's Doctor. And, mystery boxes and the key to everything doesn't have to be a bad thing. And I think Moffat did a really great job with her. But nothing's been done with Ruby Sunday. If you cast someone like Millie, as I say, who's hugely talented, and not to use her talent, not to develop her character properly. And I called this out before. When the Doctor was a straight white male, they made sure that the female stood equally with the Doctor, sometimes even in front of the Doctor, and getting even more screen time and more attention than the Doctor. Isn't it interesting now the Doctor's a gay black guy? Nothing wrong with that, but how their agenda and ideology changes. So the female companion is taking a back seat now. Isn't that convenient? This is how these people's minds work. Again, let me underline, there is nothing wrong with having a black Doctor, a trans Doctor, an Asian Doctor. It doesn't matter, right? The character can regenerate into any humanoid form. It is fine. Do not have an issue with it. I'm just interested how all of a sudden the companion isn't that important anymore. Now we've got a black gay actor playing the Doctor. I'm sure that's just a convenience, that's just a happy accident, and it's not done on purpose. Not anyway. So they've underdeveloped her. And so 73 yards, if this is a Doctor Light episode, because everything may not be as it seems, but it looks like this is, a Millie Gibson, Ruby Sunday focused episode. And because she's been underdeveloped and she hasn't been given the attention and the due diligence in the narrative, basically purely being a mystery box in the church on Ruby Road, but then in the other episodes, it didn't feel like, I don't know her. And she's quickly got the TARDIS key, which I think is ridiculous, which doesn't help develop her character. She's got her arms around the Doctor. The Doctor's got his arms around her, and I'm wondering why. Why are you such close friends after 4 episodes? I'm not feeling it. Yeah, you're all pally, oh Doctor, oh companion, Ruby, but you haven't done anything to earn the right. When we first meet Rose, she's a bit anti-Doctor. She's obsessed with him a bit. She wants to know him. He's a bit of a mystery. But when she first discovers the TARDIS, she's freaked out, which I liked. And in the second episode, she's not even sure she wants to travel with the Doctor once they go into the future and she sees all these aliens. That's the right way to go at it. But slowly but surely, and even in the third episode, The Unquiet Dead, she questions the Doctor's ideology when he wants to use the dead bodies, right? So she's already challenging the Doctor. This companion hasn't challenged the Doctor. She's a head nodder. She doesn't really do much. And this is not on Millie Gibson, because I'm telling you, go watch Coronation Street. Go on YouTube, Millie Gibson on Coronation Street, and you will see how wonderful she is and how talented she is and how utterly she's got into my heart as an actor and her character on Coronation Street. This is why I was so happy of her casting. But none of this has been utilised for Doctor Who. And it's an artistic crime, if you ask me. So 73 Yards is a great opportunity to see how good this young artist is. And absolutely, if you hate Doctor Who, if you've got an agenda on Doctor Who, don't go after Millie Gibson. Don't go after any of them, but specifically Millie, because she hasn't attacked you. She hasn't said anything wrong about you. So remember that. Be respectful when you're talking about her, because I've noticed certain people being a little bit disrespectful when they talk about her. I don't think it's very nice. Don't think it's deserved. That's just my opinion, if you ask me. So 73 Yards seems to be an episode where she's kind of being haunted by this woman in a distance, and I think the 73 Yards element is a part of that. It's an episode set in Wales. Personally, I don't mind that, but what happened to all the Disney money that they're basing a whole episode in Wales is not a big deal. It's not a problem. It's something they've done before. RTD is Welsh. He's proud of his Welsh heritage, and that's a good thing. I love Wales. I've been to Wales. I've worked in Wales. It's a brilliant, beautiful place. And you can see the greenery of it, and they're going to use the greenery of it. But RTD said he actually went to Wales and he had to work out, well, they work in Wales anyway. That's where Bad Wolf Studios is based, isn't it? But yeah, he had to work out exactly how far 73 yards is. I haven't got a clue. By the way, I'm not a mathematician. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not here for my math skills. I'm here for my passion about entertainment and the subjects that I talk about. But yeah, so she's being haunted by this woman. Not haunted, but she keeps on seeing her. She's freaked out. It looks like the Doctor has disappeared, vanished. And it looks like I think she's in current day Wales. I'm not sure, but it looks like she's in current day Wales. But she could be trapped there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the TARDIS has vanished. So it's going to be a very, very scary experience for Ruby Sunday. And I think, as I say, you're going to see, even in the clips we've seen her acting is so good. So I think this is going to be interesting. I think this could be a really, really good episode. The premise sounds very interesting. I don't think in terms of ratings, having a Doctor-like episode helps. But, in the old days, the reason we got kind of these Doctor-like episodes is because of production schedules and how they needed the Doctor somewhere else. They were doing another episode while doing that episode, and it just made kind of scheduling sense to have a Doctor-like episode. So I get it, I'm fine with it, and I don't mind seeing an entire episode focused on Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday, because I think the character needs it. But it's a very, very strange situation with Ruby. We saw her in the marketing drive, we saw her everywhere looking glamorous and beautiful, and with Ncuti every step of the way. They look like they get on. But who knows, that could be bullshit. But not that it really matters. Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny couldn't stand each other for a time because Gillian wasn't getting paid as much as David. But on screen, you wouldn't even believe that these two people didn't get on. That's professionalism, and that's great acting, and that's the way it should be. And so, yeah. But I think there's a cloud over Millie Gibson and this character, because we've heard they're bringing this brand new actor, which we already saw last week, as a brand new companion. And so the question is, now they've tried to give us this impression that there'll be a three-pronged TARDIS team. I'm not sure that Millie Gibson will be a full-time companion in season 2. She will be there. I think something tragic happens to her character in the finale. And by the way, if you haven't heard, in limited cinemas in the UK, you will be able to see the double episode finale, season finale of Doctor Who in selected cinemas. They would have to pay me to do that. I mean, I am kind of excited to see the episode. You know, you've got an episode called The Legend of Ruby Sunday. Look, this is nothing that we haven't seen before. And I think because Doctor Who has such a great potential, there's so many wonderful things you can do with this character and this universe. Excuse the voice. I use it a lot, and that's why it's croaky. But yeah, there's so much potential, and it's not being used. Let's do the same thing again. Let's stay safe. Let's cast another attractive young companion. Let's not stretch the actor. And nothing we've seen has been that ambitious, and he thinks having a drag queen as the villain is ambitious. It is not. It was an interesting concept that wasn't executed properly. I think The Devil's Called should have been a full-on musical. And, you know, RTD copped out of doing that. We had a lot of rumours. I thought it would be a musical, and we didn't get that, which is a shame, because I think that villain, the caricature, the idea of that villain is very interesting. And in a format of a full musical, I think that would have been fucking awesome. But never mind, we can't have good things. So do I think that 73 Yards is going to be a good episode? I do. I actually do think what you're going to get here on this channel, unlike other channels who have decided it's over for Doctor Who, I kind of think it is over for Doctor Who, but I've got to call it as I see. And I was looking forward to Boom. I enjoyed Boom. And I think that 73 Yards will be a very interesting episode, especially if you're interested about the mystery box that is Ruby Sunday. I'm not necessarily interested. I'm a little bit intrigued to see what they do with it. There have been hints to Susan. I think it could be the Great Intelligence because of the snow, which is stupid, but who knows? The snow could be a big clue. Who knows? But I think we will get some kind of reveal in the double series finale. And as I say, I think something really tragic happens to Ruby Sunday, or maybe to the Doctor. Who knows? It will be interesting at the very least to see. So I'm always going to watch Doctor Who no matter how bad it gets, how much they gaslight us, and how bad they treat us. And I'm not going to change that stance. I'm always going to watch and support Doctor Who, but I will always be honest about it. There's too many people on the internet talking about Doctor Who, not wanting to be honest. For many years, we've had these Who-tubers just lying, just to keep their platform going, policing other fans, telling off other fans. Well, you don't have that right, Mr. TARDIS and John Mobb. You don't have that right to tell us what to say and what to think. We are not racist. We're not ists and isms just because we don't like an episode of Doctor Who. We are not ists and isms just because the actor who plays the Doctor or the showrunner gaslights us and we defend ourselves. They're not our boss. They may be very influential in their industry, but in the real world, it's us, the street fighters, the everyday people, the peasants who are running the show. We are the king makers, and at the moment, we're breaking Doctor Who. It is not looking good. The numbers are not good. And, you know, someone tried to correct me about the Disney Plus views and said, well, it's in the top 8. But is it number 1? Is it beating everything in front of it? They're paying a bit of money for Doctor Who. I'm sure they wanted, you know, it's all about subscribers, bringing new subscribers to the platform. Is Doctor Who doing that? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that Doctor Who is doing the business for Disney Plus that they invested the money for. So yes, they haven't agreed to be involved with Doctor Who within series 3. So watch this space and see. I think it's on a tightrope. That's that situation, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. And in terms of the BBC and the numbers, well, on its own, the BBC isn't a commercial outlet, and they probably could carry on making Doctor Who with these viewers. I think they could just about justify it, but they need investment. They need someone to fund them, to sponsor them like Disney are doing, and, you know, you're always kind of stuck with these American companies, and Doctor Who is a British TV show. It has to remain fundamentally British. This is what happened when they did Torchwood Miracle Day. They Americanized Torchwood. They took it out of the Wales, the Cardiff hub. And that was a huge mistake. And they tried to Americanize it. I didn't totally hate Torchwood Miracle Day. The whole thing that everybody is dying. No, everybody lives apart from, and Captain Jack Harkness suddenly isn't immortal anymore. It's a very interesting concept. And once we focused the show back to, Gwen and Captain Jack, it became a better show. But they were trying to force us with these American characters, and that's not what Torchwood is. And Doctor Who also isn't a British, let me say that again. Doctor Who isn't an American show. It's a quintessential British show. And that's why I'm kind of glad that we're getting an episode in Wales this year, as we've done before. It's important to keep that Britishness. It's important to have a British companion and a British actor who speaks the British lingo, who sounds British, or Scottish or whatever, right? It's a British show at the end of the day. And if you take that quaint Britishness away from Doctor Who, I don't think it works. I think the Americans and global audiences watch Doctor Who because of its Britishness. So it is important. It's very, very important. And I don't think it has that British quality this time with RTD2 as it used to do. I think with Disney involved, it has been Americanized a little bit. And I'm a little bit cautious about American writers writing Doctor Who and taking away the quintessential British nature of the show. So I think 73 Yards has a lot of potential. I think it will be haunting. I think it will be a nightmare experience for Ruby, and hopefully we get to know her a little bit. And it's a great opportunity for Millie Gibson, whose future in Doctor Who is very, very shady at the very least. I think we don't have much longer of Millie Gibson in Doctor Who. Whether we see her now and again in season 2, it's, and I mean, they've tried to kind of tell us that she's in season 2, but I think there's something very, very dodgy going on. And I think the finale will really, really show us. And I think the new companion will be in Stephen Moffat's Christmas special. I think that's when we'll first see her. So it's like they're introducing a new companion because they've lost the old one already after one season. So if she isn't a regular in series 2, because the way they've tried to sell it, they're all there and it's great. I think if Millie Gibson is full-time in season 2, there's no question they will try and pair her off and, have this kind of gay lesbian relationship between the two companions. I think that's exactly where they're going to go. Rinse and repeat. And so we'll see what happens, whether Millie Gibson is kicked to the curb or if she's actually full-time in season 2. But at the very least, Millie Gibson will get a time to shine in 73 Yards. And I think that's really, really important because, as I say, if you cast a great, talented young actor, you want to use them. And she hasn't. She hasn't been developed. She hasn't been used properly. It's been very, very strange. She doesn't, everything that we've seen in RTD2 seems like a cheat code, seems lazy, seems like he's going through the motions. And if your writer and your head writer and your showrunner is going through the motions, or it seems like they're going through the motions, then the audience will check out, won't watch, go through the motions, And as I said before, when you know that someone is capable of so much better, we know that RTD is capable of so much better. So what's gone wrong so far with RTD2? He's not trying. He's repurposing his old stuff. It does not make sense why he came back. Did he come back for the money? I really don't know. Did he come back so nobody else got it? Or did he come back to protect Chris Chibnall's legacy as well? Because he feared that someone else would red pill the Timeless Children, which is a sensible decision if you can red pill it properly, then it's a really good decision to make. But he's protecting his friends, and this is the problem. And he's come back angry. The fans can tell he's come back angry. He's tried to wind up and upset fans by doing certain things. He has made people angry and they've checked out. And I just wonder, apart from getting some seismic revenge on people who didn't like Chris Chibnall, he's torn down the very thing that he worked strenuously hard to build up. Does he find that? Does he see power in that? Is he reinvigorated by that because he's breaking something that he built? You'll have to ask him. All I know is during his 4-year run of Doctor Who, I looked up to him. I was inspired by him. I loved his passion. I loved his nuance as a writer and a showrunner. And I'm very, very disappointed in him. And I'm sure he doesn't give a shit that a fan of Doctor Who, a fan of his, is disappointed in him. It's not about the representation. Let me be clear. It's not about the representation. It's not about who they've chosen to play the Doctor. It's never about that. It's about your work creatively. And I'm afraid, RTD, your work creatively simply hasn't been good enough. It's been lazy, as I say. It seems like you're going through the motions. You know it. We know it. We're not stupid. Now, I suppose if you build something up, you want to be the one who destroys it. Well, you've certainly done that. But RTD didn't destroy Doctor Who. He's helping knock the building down, right? Knock the Statue of Liberty down, right? Knock the TARDIS down. But the downfall of Doctor Who really slowly but surely started once he and David Tennant left in 2009. I like Chibnall's 5th series. Unlike some, I enjoyed the 6th series. The 7th series was a little bit underwhelming, but was great in places, but not brilliant at the end of the day. But yeah, it's been going slowly downhill. Once RTD left in 2009, the ratings have been going down, and the excitement and a little bit of the quality went down because Moffat was very different in what he did. But I appreciate a lot of what Stephen Moffat did. So it's slowly but surely, Doctor Who hasn't been the Doctor Who we enjoyed for 4 years of RTD. That's a shame. These things happen. But it's been plodding along for nearly 20 years. And that's absolutely ridiculous. But I could stomach the Moffat era. There was, as I said, there was a lot of good stuff there. More good than bad, by the way. The problem with Moffat's era, it was so different to the RTD era, and it took a lot to get used to it. Chibnall had no value. Chibnall's era had no value whatsoever. And RTD2 has no value whatsoever. At least Chibnall had some kind of a plan. At least he had his 3 companions. He did what he did. It wasn't for me. I still watched it, but it wasn't for me. But at least he was trying to do his thing, at the very least. Whose thing is RTD trying to do here? And again, it's not about representation. It's not about inclusion. It's about quality of creativity. I want to be uplifted in my heart and soul when I watch entertainment. And that's not happening very often today. And that's really, really sad. And Doctor Who is a fine example of what's happening in this industry. And, you know, like the first female Doctor, the first black full-time Doctor, it's been giving the same underwhelming treatment. And isn't that more bigoted than any fan saying, oh, I'm not watching because it's a woman or it's a black man? I wonder, is it as equally as bigoted? Probably, because you bring in a black guy, right? It's inclusive, right? He's a really good, vibrant young actor. He's got huge personality. He's got verve, right? So it's your opportunity to make this first full-time black Doctor the greatest Doctor ever, like it was Chibnall's opportunity to make Whittaker the greatest Doctor ever. And that would be something to behold. But instead, they seem to think that diverse groups of people, when they're taking on these iconic properties, need diplomatic immunity, and there's certain things, certain ways they shouldn't be doing as caricatures. And that's where it gets fucked up. The guy admitted, RTD admitted, that he changed the shape of the sonic fucking screwdriver because he was worried children would try and hurt each other with the toys, or whatever he was saying, or it looks dangerous. That's Disney, mate. That's not RTD, is it? That's those fucking lunatics at fucking Disney. How is that going? How many new square or whatever fucking shape it is, sonic screwdrivers are you selling? Because it's not a sonic screwdriver. It is not a sonic screwdriver. It's not a screwdriver. A screwdriver's a long thing, and it's ridiculous. And he's destroyed it. Getting involved with Disney was a huge mistake. But despite all of that, I'm ready to watch Doctor Who on Saturday morning. As you're watching this, it is Saturday morning, by the way. So this morning, I've either watched it, or while you're watching this video, I'm watching 73 Yards. So I'm putting my faith in RTD again. I always have faith in Millie Gibson. I never doubted her ability to perform well, and I expect her at the very least to perform well. I expect us to get to know a little bit more about Ruby Sunday and the mystery box that is Ruby Sunday. So I'm hoping at the very least for a very solid episode.